and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a terrible name, I'm aware of that, but it was the best I could come up with, so... Anyway, quick introduction about me. So my name is Sia. I've got two rabbits. I've got Jasper and I've got Willow. Jasper I've had since he's a baby. Willow, she's a rescue. So about a week ago, their bond broke down. And being honest, when I decided to make a YouTube channel, making this video was probably the last thing I expected I'd ever have to make. Never mind it being the first video that I upload. But this is where we are. So, basically in this video I'm going to show you my journey of what I did to get them back to a place where they could live together. I'm still not entirely sure what caused their bond to break down. I have a few theories that I do go through on this video. Just a warning, this is a very long one. I think it's about half an hour long because it shows sort of every day the progress that we'd made, sort of what I thought I did well, what I thought I didn't do so well. Being honest, the entire thing was ultimately successful, but it wasn't without its issues. I still think though that this might be informative to some people, and if anybody has any suggestions on what I could do better, I am all for it. Obviously I hope this never happens again, but if it does, I want to make sure that I deal with it in the best way. So thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the video. So this clip here was actually filmed for an entirely different video idea I had about a bunny room makeover. But then this happened, so plans changed. So this was about a week before their bond broke down. On the day that it happened, we had my landlord and his friend over because he was just fixing the windows in their room because they'd started to leak now that it's going into the winter. Willow was sat with me on the sofa while they were doing this, and Jasper was sort of just running around the living room. This is quite unusual behaviour, as it's usually Jasper will sit with me and Willow will be running around. So I first thought that maybe Jasper was jealous because he was the one that attacked Willow. I put Jasper in their big new hutch and closed that off and let Willow have the rest of the room because I had to go out. When I came back and it was time for them to go to bed, I switched the two of them round, so Willow was in the hutch overnight and Jasper had the whole room. The next morning, when I picked up Willow to take her to the bonding session, I noticed she was a lot more cuddly than she usually is. She wasn't her normal self. Then I noticed that she stopped eating and she stopped drinking, so I took her straight to the vets, and it turned out she had a mild case of stasis.
Day 2.
So this is our first rebonding session. So I've brought them into the bathroom. This isn't actually where I did my original bonding with them, so neither one of them has been here. Just give them a little bit of food and a bowl of water. My plan is to sit with them here for about an hour. If they're good here for an hour, then I'm going to bring them back downstairs into their own enclosure and see whether they can behave well together. This morning I did try this, but that was when I realised basically I need to take Willow to the vet because she just wasn't herself. She is back to normal now. I'm going to use this time just to communicate with both of them because he needs to know that I will, that I will comfort her and I'm not just his, because I think that's what broke down the bond in the first place. So I'm going to try and use this rebonding as us almost to bond as a trio. So it's not those two and me, because when I tried doing that, the way it ended up being was those two and me and Jasper. He was not happy at all, when Willow started warming up to me, and that's, I think, what's caused the problems in the first place.
A few moments later.
Just something just to observe here. So you will notice that Jasper was bowing and his head is still lower than Willow's. This is generally a good sign. This means that he is kind of submitting to her, which I'm finding quite positive because it's Jasper's basically been attacking Willow. So the fact that he's now the one bowing to her, and she's kind of going to comfort him, I think that's a very good sign.
More moments later.
But look, there he is. He's bowing and she's grooming his ears. She's grooming herself. That's good as well. So I think he's just kind of letting her take her lead right now. So if they're okay like this for the next hour or two, we'll try them downstairs. If when we go downstairs they still fight, I'm going to keep them separate for tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to do this again, and I'm probably going to rearrange and clean the downstairs room. That really helped when I first bonded them.
What follows is a brief construction montage.
And really good progress, like what you've seen in the time lapses. They've been very well behaved, very cuddly with each other, lots and lots of positive things, no even slight fighting, which has been good. Jasper, I've noticed he did keep coming up to me after he'd cuddled Willow. I think he very much is just trying to still claim me a bit. But he wasn't getting angry like when I was able to stroke Willow. So we are going to try to go back to their bedroom now and see if they're going to be okay together. I didn't actually film this bit, but when I put them back in their room, despite their cuddling, they went straight back to fighting. So I re-separated them.
Soon after.
This is the hutch that Jasper is currently in. It is very small, you know, and I am quite aware of that. I just kind of figure it's better him being in there, you know, than being out here and getting hurt. Also, as I say, I had Willow in here before. I don't fully understand Willow's history because I got her from a lady who rescued her back in March, but I do know that she was kept somewhere quite small before, and I think that's what freaked her out. I think that's why she kind of got ill this morning. But this is where Jasper is now. I don't normally have these treat sticks up, but I got them today because, you know, they were out at the vets and it is quite stressful. With Jasper at the moment, I have him some hay, I've got some water, and here's Willow. I need to also figure out if there's something going on in this corner because most fights tend to break out when she's sat there, and then Jasper will see her and he'll run over and then he'll pounce on her. I mean, just look at Willow, she just looks so sad, and I really hate having them separated. I especially hate having Jasper in here. I mean, when I first got this, I took this off, so it was just somewhere for them to hide. I never intended this to be a home, but it's gonna have to do for now. And then obviously I'm trying to let him out ever so often just so he can have a bit of a run around, but I just can't risk them hurting each other. No, so Willow's got all of in here because I figure she's probably most likely to need the extra space, to say, because I really don't want her to get sick again, and I have a feeling a lot of it is because she's caged. But I am quite concerned about her. I mean, she's kind of back to normal. This morning she was very cuddly with me. I know this can sound really weird, but I'm actually kind of glad she's running away from me now because it kind of means she's back to her old self a bit. So a quick update. It's now just past midnight, and I've stayed in here with them. Everything seems to be fine so far. I've just been reading, watching YouTube. No fights have broken out, but at the same time, they've also completely avoided each other. Willow is still in the hutch. Jasper's sat on the bed. So sort of hutch is open though, so she can come out if she wants to. She just hasn't so far. She has water in there. She has hay in there. She's been eating. She's been drinking, which is all positive stuff. But I am nervous about the fact that they haven't really been interacting. So I am going to spend the night in here, I think. And yeah, I'm going to have a sleepover with my bunny rabbits, which I assume is probably not really going to involve much sleeping, but we'll see. So it's now 1 AM. Willow's still up here and Jasper's at the bottom, so I'll just speak of the devil. So yeah, we'll see how they are together. Hopefully we're all going to be okay. Let's see. Looks like he's just kind of ignoring her. It is what it is, I guess. Here's my bed. Here's Jasper's bed. So I think the two of us will kind of just sleep next to each other. So it's 3 AM, as you can see from the fluff. They just woke me up with a fight. Again, it's in this corner. I don't know what it is about this corner that drives Jasper mad. It's just here.
Day 3.
Good morning. It's been a bit of a rough night, but we haven't had any sort of full out fights yet. It's mostly just been sort of warning spats, as far as I'm aware, but I can't see any fur anywhere, which is a good sign. So Willow tried sleeping sort of next to me, and Jasper's been by my feet most of the night. I smell like wee though, so I think Jasper's probably weed over me because he's done that before. When he tries to take ownership of me. Other than that, sort of the main thing is their litter habits have just gone completely by the wayside. They've just defecated over the entire room. So today, I'm just going to do a little bit more bonding in the bathroom. And I'm going to take everything out of this room, find somewhere else for the cat tower because for some reason that seems to be the point of contention. I don't want to get rid of it because they both like it a lot, which I think is the issue. We'll see, I'll keep you updated.
2 hours later.
I might have actually gotten to the root of this problem, that it wasn't, I was focusing on the wrong rabbit. I think, yes, Willow did have a little bit of a shake yesterday, but I think it was Jasper I should have been concerned about. So it looked like his scent gland had been quite clogged up and he had quite a lot of soft poo in his fur. So I think maybe he's the one that's been feeling unwell and that's why he's been fighting. I've got some critical care and I've put it in with his pellets. So I just hope he eats some of this, really. I feel terrible that I didn't realise that I think he was the poorly one all along.
A little later.
I've just finished shopping. I've just picked up a couple of things that I thought I would show you that will hopefully help with our situation. So, because I'm concerned about Jasper's scent glands, he either has his scent glands clogged or he has a bit of diarrhea, which scent glands I think would be better, but diarrhea, so I have given him critical care. But I've just got this small animal shampoo and some Q-tips
or I don't know why I call them Q-tips, cotton buds. So I'm going to dilute some of this and then just use these just to clean his under area. It is really, really stressful though for him. So I've also picked up this. So this is supposed to just calm them down and just so he won't be quite so stressed. And hopefully it will also help with him and Willow. So there's 2 different things in here. There's wipes to wipe the fur, and then there's some spray as well. I also got this, which I think is completely unnecessary, but it's just a little like baby changing mat that I thought would be a nice little mat to have when I do their nails and when I clean him later.
Many hours later.
Okay, so I now have absolutely everything out of here. The rabbits are over there. You can find my living room is an absolute state because everything from in here is out there. But they seem to be fine. I'm quite glad they're actually choosing to sit there, because it means I can keep an eye on them. So now it's just time for me just to clean absolutely everything.
2 hours later.
I've scrubbed everything down in here, so I am now going to start moving everything back in. The rabbits have been really well behaved. They've been like playing with each other, which I think is an incredible sign, because it's not just been cuddling and grooming, they've actually been playing, like they've chased each other, but without it leading to a fight. It's literally just been their normal playfulness, which I think is amazing. So fingers crossed everything's going to be okay, because I've got work tomorrow for a really long time, so I really, really don't want to leave them if I'm not 100% certain that they're back to normal. Okay, so I've finally cleaned up the room, finished it all, but the 2 of them, they haven't regained trust of each other yet. So we're bringing it right back to basics. So I've put them side by side so they can smell each other. I really hate having them in here, if I'm being completely honest. It really upsets me having them in here. But they need to trust each other again. And everything I've read said this is the best way is to go back to sort of the way you would do bonding. So they're going to be like this, I think, for tonight. And then hopefully they can have their room back.
Day 4.
So it's day 4 now, and I've hit a bit of a dilemma. 2 of them get on great in here. I don't want to keep them in cages again today. I left them in it overnight, and I think it is somewhat helping. I mean, obviously today, as you can see, they are quite close. But I'm out of the house now for 14 hours because I've got to go to work. My housemate is around, but he's also allergic to rabbits, so he can't spend the whole day with them. Which is also why they've got their own room rather than just giving them the living room or something. So I now need to figure out what I'm going to do with them today. They're already a bit iffy about food, so I don't want them to slip back into stasis. But it's kind of like, if I put them in the cage, that stresses them out. If I don't do that, that's lots of changes which will stress them out. I am really stuck here. I don't know what the best thing for me to do in this situation is, quite honestly. Yeah. I'm happy to report, after that moment when I was feeling like I'd hit rock bottom, everything starts to get better. Just before I left for work, I put the 2 of them in their cages. I started filming, explaining what I was going to do, and just broke down in tears because I didn't want to leave them in there. My housemate came down behind me and sort of gave me a hug and was like, we're not going to leave them in there. Because they were good in the bathroom, we brought them back upstairs into the bathroom, set up a camera so I could watch them at work. He agreed to go in several times during the day just to check up on them and make sure that they were alright, refill the water, refill the hay, etc. And they did amazingly. They stayed in the bathroom then for about another day, so they were in there for 2 days until Sunday night. And Sunday night I then moved them downstairs into the new room. Just put the camera down there as well so I can monitor it. I think I'm going to leave that camera in there now just for good. It's our security camera basically from our front door, but right now this is more important to me. They have been doing really, really well. They are settled in. Jasper's leg is healing up really, really nicely. I've actually been able to take the bandage off today because it almost completely healed, which I'm really, really happy about. If I have any advice to anybody doing this, please make sure that you're looking after yourself, because I didn't look after myself. The night that I slept with them, I barely slept at all. Then I was running around. I went to the shop several times getting different things for them. It got to 9 PM at night after I'd been running around, after I'd cleaned out the whole room, and I realised I hadn't had anything to drink or eat for the entire day. So I started to feel really, really unwell, which was not what I needed just before I was going to do a really, really long shift at work. But it is all worth it. They are now living happily together. This is them today. They have completely settled down. They look like they're happy to be with each other. And they are finally successfully rebonded, which I am so, so glad about. Thank you for watching, and I promise my next video will be a lot more positive.